Looch on ice, we break it down each week. Puck drops hard, hear the fans all scream. From the highlight reels, we catch every peak. In the fast lane, we live the hockey dream. Stick handling magic, every move's a skill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the loop. Join the ride, feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. Goals and assists, the numbers never lie. From golden gloves to the rivalries that fly. On ice battles, real grit and we pride. With Looch on the mic, we rise to the sky. Every play's electric, they give us a thrill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the loop. On the ride, feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. The numbers never lie. From golden gloves to the rivalries that fly. On ice battles, real grit and we pride. With Looch on the mic, we rise to the sky. Every play's electric, they give us a thrill. Looch on ice, we got the weekly scoop. From power plays to the hardest hits in the loop. On the ride, feel that action, no excuse. NHL roundup with a hockey news crew. So lace up tight, let's roll with the fight. Looch on ice, hockey vibes feeling right.
What's up?
All right, what's going on, man? We are back.
The first thing to go in our redoing this whole thing is that effing song.
Oh yeah, I know you're tired of hearing it, or what?
Well, that's what it is. I mean, no matter what we get, it would be the same thing, right? It's just, I hear it so much, I'm tired of it.
We got to have a theme song. You know what? It's funny because I'm kind of tired of it myself, but I figured, you can't get copyright issues. I know YouTube's gives a lot of copyright issues for certain songs, so I'm trying to get my daughter's boyfriend and her brother to maybe get us a theme song when we're ready to rock and roll with the new show.
Who did that one? The current one?
That one is from a website, an AI website. So, it had a little jingle to it, but I'll retire it shortly.
Yeah.
You know, that was from my Bleacher Brother time with my man AJ down in Florida. So, yeah, we'll get a song. We'll get something, an intro or something. We'll figure that out as the summer goes along.
Maybe we'll get Bruce or Bon Jovi,
Yeah, why not?
Jersey guy.
Sure.
Stevie Van Zandt, Southside Johnny, get a Jersey guys. Maybe we'll get them
I
all.
agree. I like a little Pearl Jam, maybe we'll get Eddie Vedder.
Hey, they're him. Who's the friends? So why not? Let's get it on.
Yeah.
Think big. Go big.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. I'm thinking big.
Right.
Hey, we got a good guest tonight, man. I can't wait. Funny guy, New York Ranger fan. I reached out to him and he said he'd come on the show. We're gonna talk a little Rangers and hopefully we'll have some laughs with him.
Well, there's no doubt he's got a sense of humor if he's a Ranger fan.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's been to a few Ranger games. I've seen him with the Ranger shirt on, the Ranger jersey on, and I went with the Rangers Knicks basketball jersey tonight. I like this one for the summertime. I know you thought it was a Knicks because I'm below the screen here. I mean, I kind of did become a Knicks fan when when the Knicks had their little bit of a run, or
I've always been a Knicks fan. I just didn't follow. I don't follow basketball. I don't watch it religiously, but when I did when I was younger, and I root for him because I have some close friends who are Knicks fans and suffered. And in New York, great team, great run.
Let's hope the Rangers can put together a run next year.
Once more before I die.
Yeah, I hear you, man. You never know. Like if they get on a good streak and they, a couple of those young players step it up a little bit. Some of the new guys step it up a little bit. You never know. We got goaltending. We got some defense now. We got a couple of guys that could put the puck in the net. Hopefully, they make one more good trade, and we could be right there, back in the mix.
They're right on they're on the right path. The challenge for them is going to be finding that top center, top two
Right,
centers. They're not easy to find. That's going to be the
right.
challenge. I listen. I've said this many times. I like what Jory's doing. I like the approach he's taking. He's building a team the way he wants to build a team. For the
Yep.
first time in a long time, the Rangers could be a big, heavy team. Now he's putting the skill part together. Hopefully, um,
Right.
I love the Dorofeyev trade. Um, the Trocheck trade looks like it's going to be great. And I got to tell you though, and this is the truth. The hesitation or the worries or makes me not like these trades. Actually, you know why? You know what it is? Because
What's
the
that?
bloggers and the media are all over it. They love it, and they never write
Yeah.
about anything. So,
Right.
if they're loving this, I got to think twice about this. What am I doing here?
I feel like they've. I feel is it this year that they made more trades or like than normal because or am I just following it a lot closer? I'm not sure. Like I'm looking at all the trades.
Well,
I'm going.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
they
I'm,
have been.
I'm
Um,
writing down. I'm
but
like
you know
writing
what?
down my notes, and then my notes are never stopping. I'm like, okay, they did this, they did this. I'm like, where does it end? I'm like, holy cow, all these trades. I know they got some minor league guys that they're setting up, for playing at Hartford, and maybe some guys for the future, and who knows, future trades or whatever. But I definitely think they improved a little bit. The Trocheck being gone, I'm a little upset about that. I was a big Panarin fan. I bought one of his jerseys. He was a great guy when I met him down in Carolina. I was a little upset about that, going back, but I'm over that. I'm loving the Dorofeyev, like you said, and hopefully he steps up and he's produces with the Rangers.
I think he will.
I'm looking at their lineup and seeing that Zibanejad. They got him with Zibanejad and Gabe Perreault in the first line. So
Well, that
we'll
line
see.
cooked at the end of last year. Perot, Mika, and Laffy. So naturally, they're going to break that up because they did really well together. So they'll break that up. But no.
Right.
Hopefully, JT Miller's going to have a bounce back year. He
Yep.
started to towards the end of the season. With Trocheck on, I like the Baudouin, I think you say his name. I love that him in the trade. It was a great addition. He's going to be a fan favorite, and we'll see. His floor. I think at the worst he'll be a bottom six center, like fast, physical, score a couple of goals here or there. But he has a real upside. Hopefully the upside will hit. I'm hoping Nathan Aspinall. We've talked about him before. Hits. Maybe we got lucky there. The fourth round pick. And then we got Spence coming in another year or two. Emery. Well, I'm not sold on.
Yep.
I think he's going to be a washout. Who else? You got Liam Greentree, right? Greentree.
Yeah, Green Tree. Yep.
Greentree.
He's a big, tough kid, right? Liam Greentree
Yeah, big kid, tough. Yep.
from the Kings.
Puck in
They
the
got
net.
it from the Kings. They got it from the
Keep
Kings.
the puck in the net.
There, nice.
Hopefully he'll work out.
Right.
Look, it's you have to have a lot of options, right? That's what you got to hope for.
Yeah.
These guys hit. They hit. It's
Beef.
all good.
Beefing up the defense a little bit, like they say you got to, you do the you build the team from the goalie out, the defense, and then you get your forwards. So maybe they got something in the works with a forward. I mean, Zibanejad put the puck in the net last year or this past season, and I think if he has a good season again, and like you said, JT Miller starts producing. He was hurt right from the beginning. I think he came back, and then he got hurt again, maybe, and then slipped back a little bit. He wasn't on his game like I felt like he should have been, but
Yeah, the
like I said,
problem with
hopefully-
Mika is, even in his prime, at his best, he's not a number one center you're going to win a Stanley Cup with.
right,
They're
right.
stuck with him for a couple of years as they retool. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not. I'm a Mika fan, but you're not going to win a Stanley
Right.
Cup with him. We've been down this road
Yeah.
before.
I got you.
They got to
I
get the
agree.
number one center.
I
You
agree.
know,
And you
Miller
got a
would be
team
that
like
guy, but he's 33. You know.
yeah, and you got a team like Florida, man, with all the stuff that they did over the in the offseason. I'm just like, oh my god, how can you even compete with them? They have so much toughness and guys that could put the puck in the net, and with Barkov and Reinhardt and the two Kachuk brothers now, and like, oh, it's like never ending over there. It's kind of ridiculous, you
You know,
know.
I got a kind of I got a little bit of a contrarian view than everybody on that. You know,
Uh-huh. Go
a
ahead.
friend of mine sent me a text a couple days ago and said Florida has like $4 million in cap room and only five defensemen signed. And I started looking at their cap situation, and what made them so good is besides of course Barkov and Reinhardt, that's third and fourth line was big, heavy, you know, like they just come at you in waves, and those guys are all almost all gone, right? They still got
Right.
Frondell. They still have Lucinarin, but that's
Rustarainen.
it. You know, they just
Yeah.
signed Gukas as their sixth defenseman. They have like a million to $2 million, to
Oh,
sign a couple of forwards that they're up against
yeah,
the cap. And Markstrom stinks. You know, I know.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
we one of the things we've talked about over and over again is this belief that you don't have to have a top goalie. And it's been proven, right? Look at Carolina, right? They won with Freddie Anderson and the local kid Bussy. Vegas won with Aiden Hill. Edmonton went to the finals 2 years ago with their jerk of the a month, whoever it was. But you can't go if your goalie's bad. And Markstrom's been bad, and he's getting older. I don't understand that. Maybe but listen, Bill Zito's a smart guy. But I think the Kachuk trade was overkill, to be honest with you. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I it. But listen, maybe I'm wrong. I said this about Vegas. Maybe in the end, I ended up being right because they lost in the finals. When you start getting all this, you're chasing all these stars, all these stars, all these stars, you lose your identity and you lose your depth, right?
Right.
I don't think they needed Keith Kachuk, Keith Kachuk,
Brady.
Kachuk. I think it was overkill,
Yeah.
But that's me. But you know what? Also, what's his name? Who's come back to earth? The goal
Young.
scorer that they picked off the waiver wire. What's his name?
Uh,
Carter,
Not
right?
sure. Ca-
Verhage.
Oh, Verhage. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
He's
Right.
come. He's come back to earth.
Yeah.
You know. But look, they
Uh-huh.
got Barkov, they got Seth Jones, they got Ekblad, they got the Kachuk brothers, they got
Healthy Barkov.
Reinhardt, Verhage if
Yep.
he bounces back. They listen. They got
Ma-
they,
Marchand.
Marchand, yeah, Marchand. They got a great team. You know,
Yeah. It's.
did they get
Uh,
But sometimes you go too far. Bringing in all these these big stars and stuff. And I think Vegas was a little bit of a victim of that, right?
right.
So Rasmus Anderson was terrible in the playoffs, and they just signed him to an extension. And
Mm,
Anderson's one of those guys that I talk about with defensemen all the time, right? Oh, he's so good. He's so good. He's a minute eater. He's so good. He's so good. If we get him in a place where, and he goes to a place where he's out there, you can see him. You see him play, and he stinks, right? You get him off a bad team playing under pressure. He was terrible. Now maybe he'll bounce back, but I don't know. You know, um, so it's just I don't know. We'll see about Florida. He might be overkill. It wouldn't be the first
right.
time. You know, sometimes
Right.
do they really need Brady Kachuk? I
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah. No, they should just give him to the Rangers. Like, let the Rangers have him. Why did they do that to me and
I know
us?
you want Brady Kachuk.
I'm a big fan of Brady. Only because.
I think we all
Uh,
are, but we can't get
yeah.
Brady till we get that Jack Eichel type on the first line. Then we can bring in Brady.
Right.
You know,
Right. I got you. I got you. I'm a
you
big
know,
Brady fan.
we all
With the
are. I'm a big
whole.
Brady fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also he didn't want to come here because we're not ready to
No.
win.
Right.
He's leaving the
Yep.
auto. But if he
Yep.
should have come here and brought Stoltz with him. Then we'll be cooking. That would be a good shape. Maybe Jake
Right. Right.
Sanderson too. But you know, so you want to
But,
start? We want to talk about the Rangers, the draft, or you want to talk about what's going
yeah.
on in the NHL? Because
It.
there's so much
It.
going on.
Yeah, let's talk about the Rangers real quick. If you want to jump over to the NHL, and then later on we'll get back to the Rangers a little bit with our guest.
All right.
Who's a big Ranger fan. So you want to talk about the draft, we got
Yeah.
with the number 5 pick. Rangers ended up picking a defenseman, Albert Smits. What's your thoughts on Albert Smits? Uh,
So, we've talked here as I study the draft a lot, and and I said
yep.
at 5, trading up doesn't make any sense because at 5 you're going to get a really good player. And there's, a listed there were 5 or 6 defensemen. Daxon Rudolph, who went 4th, Chase Reed, Smeets, Verhoff, and I think I'm forgetting one. So,
Malholtra's a
so
forward, right?
those guys were all kind of like, Carson Corrales. Those guys, some people had more people had Reed ahead of everybody, but some had Daxon Rudolph, as we saw with Buffalo. Some had Sveets. Some had Carson Carroll's. Personally, the way I would have ranked them is Carroll's, Sveets, Reed, Daxon Rudolph, and then Verhoff. Maybe even Daxon Rudolph higher than Reed. I think Reed's he's a good player. I think he's a little overhyped because people keep talking about his upside. Well, we'll see. But I think it was a great pick. I'm glad they didn't trade it away. I'm glad that they didn't go reaching for something, because if you're going to get one of those defensemen, you're going to get a good player. Now, look, we always talk about this. We don't know how it's going to work out with blah blah blah. But you got one of those defensemen, you got a good player, or expect to be a good player. And Seats, his floor is very high, meaning he won't be a bust, right? Is how good is he going to be? Well, he could be a bona fide, if he really hits and develops, develops some more offense, he could be a number 1 shutdown, 2-way defenseman. We'll see. But at its minimum, he's not going to, I don't think he's going to be a bust, because he's already ready for the NHL. He's been playing against men, for a couple of years now. And he's, played in the Olympics and handled himself well. He's, he's a good skater. He knows how to play the position. He's got a hard shot. He's mature. I love the pick. I do. And, again, Ranger fans in the media carping because they passed up Reed. He was a higher rated player, which they wouldn't know Chase Reed, they only, the higher rated. They never seen Chase Reed play. A lot of these people who criticize it, but it wasn't necessarily the higher rated player. Some people had Smith rated higher. It was a good pick. I loved it. I think they made the right move. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Definitely think he's a great pick. I mean, we're not getting a Gavin McKenna or Stenberg, but unfortunately, we didn't get that high pick that we were hoping for. A nice forward. Like the friggin' excuse my language, but the San Jose Sharks don't need any more forwards. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. They definitely improved a whole lot. That team. So
yeah, but they might have fucked up big time though. I don't understand giving Trouba a 4-year, $8 million contract. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't want to dog the guy. I didn't like his shit, but seriously, why? What about Jacob Trouba makes you want to pay him $8 million a year? Like, I don't know. You're going to tell me you can't get another guy to do what he does? It doesn't make sense. And then they doubled down by acquiring Nurse.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand it. And but to your point, yes, they are loaded. They're young, right? They got they got these, Verhoff, who at one time was projected to be the first overall pick. They got Dickinson. They have the forwards, Misa and
Misa we talked about.
Smith, yeah. And here's the thing: when you got Macklin Celebrini, right? You're going to compete for a cup someday. Probably win one. Those are they call them generational players for a reason.
Yep.
And oh God, I'm glad we didn't win the lottery, because it would have been McKenna or Sturber. I want to win the lottery when there's like a stud there.
Yeah.
Next year's draft, there's 3 considered great players. One is Landon Dupont. The other is what's his name? Joseph, his first name. And there's a third one. I forgot who it is, but Joseph would look good in Ranger Blue. 6'4", skilled, good 2-way defenseman. But I mean center, but I think the Rangers are gonna. Yeah, I think the Rangers
Fingers
are gonna compete for a
crossed.
playoff spot, and
Right.
we'll see.
I agree.
Uh,
Let's hope they get into playoffs because,
so
as we know, you get into playoffs and it's a different game, man. It turns into a different, it's like the season two, like when you go into the playoffs, anybody could win. Just think
well,
you get on a streak and you get some good players. We didn't think that Carolina was going to, I didn't think Carolina was going to win the Stanley Cup. I'm
I
like,
still don't think they can win a Stanley Cup. But you know what?
yeah, right.
It's typical Ranger misfortune, right? The year they're not good anymore. When they were good, they ran into Tampa and Florida. You know,
Right. Yeah.
Carolina had an easy path to the finals, and Vegas was a paper tiger. So look,
Right.
all credit to them. They won. I can't take anything away from them. I'd like to, but it pisses me off because that could have been the Rangers 2-3 years ago. I've said then I don't think they were a cup winning team, but they could have been if Florida wasn't in the way or Tampa, right? So,
Right.
but you know what? Sometimes you'll bet it's better to be lucky than be good, as they say. So
Uh,
anyway, getting back to the draft, I have a love hate relationship with this draft, Looch. I
uh-huh.
loved the Sweets pick. I loved the third round of Shrenko, and I fucking absolutely hated the rest of it. You know, like screaming at my ceiling as I'm watching another defenseman. They took five
Mm-hmm.
defensemen after taking five last year, right? It's five, so that's
And
10 defensemen. They took three defensemen and a goalie before they took a forward. Like it was, what are you gonna do with all these defensemen, right?
yep.
And on top
Yep.
of you got Fortescue, you got Emery. I mean, come on, like, it just makes no sense.
Yeah.
10 defensemen in the last 2 years, and John Lilly, who runs the draft, he's Jory's guy. He brought him in, and I think he's done a good job. He made some good picks, and he sounds like he really knows what he's doing. His thing is you take the best player available, and you follow your board. You stay true to your board. I agree with that. You don't reach. You stay true to your board. But come on, when you start getting into the fourth round and the fifth round, you're going to tell me there's that much difference between the defenseman and the forward, right? Seriously. And by the way, if you guys stay true to your board, what if every time you draft you have 9 picks and a goalie comes up all 9 times? You're going to take 9 goalies? Come on.
Yeah. Right.
I just thought, and look, at the end, who cares the fifth, sixth, seventh round, right? Because the chance of those guys are making it a slim, but they're lottery tickets, right? And I'd like to have a lottery ticket on more forwards than defensemen. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I just thought it was too much. Now, however, the second round pick McBeath was they got he was projected by a lot to go in the first round. Why he dropped that low, I don't know. He could be a very very good pick in the second round. We'll see.
Number
They
60.
got value there. The third round of Charlie Morrison was also ranked much higher by people, but he's just a guy. And the goalie, who knows? Goalies are goalies. You never know. And they
Right.
develop late. And Shesty was a fourth rounder. How many of them were not high picks? So they develop late. But that brings me to the I mean, listen, obviously Sveets because he's going to be a stud. But my favorite pick of the draft was Janko, who they picked in the third round, the Czechoslovakian. He was, I saw him up in the first round in many mock drafts, and before the Rangers traded away they had a second round pick that was a little higher. And I was doing my mock drafts. I took him every time because I think that he'd be a steal in the second round. We got him in the third round. I can't believe he was there. He would have been a first rounder, no doubt, if he wasn't 5'10". He's a little on the shorter side, but he's strong, right? He's not light. He can play a heavy game. He plays against men, and you know what? Carolina proved you can win with smaller guys,
Yeah.
Ehlers and
Right.
Stankoven and Jackson Blake, and none of these guys are horse. In fact, I was making fun of them when they signed Ehlers. Oh, yeah, these little second coming of the Smurfs. But you know what? You don't have to be big if you're good. I wouldn't recommend having a bunch of small guys. But you know what?
No.
Too many teams, and this happened a lot under Cole and Campbell and Neil Smith. They, for a long time, people would take the bigger guy over the guy who was better because he was smaller. If you're small and good, you'll find a place. But so I love that pick. He could be number 2 center. If he really hits the number 1 center, he can score. He's got good hands. He's got a wicked shot. He can skate. I think it was a great pick. Very happy about that one. The rest, 5, 6, 7, I don't even remember their names anymore. Oh, the 4th rounder, I don't know who the
Ricketts.
guy is. I'll be perfectly honest with you. He wasn't ranked anywhere. Ben Sessions. I forgot his name. Sessions, is that it? Sessions?
I have Ivan Patrikyev.
No, no, no.
Uh,
The 4th round pick.
yeah, I thought that was the 4th round. Jack Ricketts. Does that sound right?
No, no, no. Hold on. I'll look it up. He's from, he played in Oshawa.
Well, my
And they
list might
traded
be
up. They
my
traded up
list
to
might be
get him.
screwed up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. You're out. You're out in La La Land somewhere with those.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
sure I think you're looking at 1996, Looch. When you,
1994. Still back in '94 when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup.
yeah. Listen, I'd love to find a Zubov in the 3rd round like they did back then.
Yeah, right.
Oh, come on. They're giving me up to the 3rd round.
Yeah, maybe that's Benjamin Wilmot. Is there a Benjamin Wilmot?
Oh, he's a Jersey boy.
Oh
Played
yeah.
against a lot over the years.
Oh nice.
Why don't what's wrong with my brain? I don't remember this.
Dane Shaikov. That was the goalie.
No, I'm there. I'm there. Shrenko is the 3rd rounder. Spencer Bowes. He's a center from Oshawa. There's some videos going around to him. He's just blowing guys up, and
Oh,
he had a little offense. The Rangers. Here's what I'll say about it. I don't know anything about the guy. He sounds promising, but they all sound promising.
right.
However, they had a conviction on him because they traded back up to the 4th round to get him. He might be a late bloomer. Seems to be coming on, kind of like Aspinall. Maybe they got something there. I don't know. But that's the type of guy you want to take in the 4th round, right? A guy that you think might be a late bloomer, have some upside, and boom, you hit on him. We'll see.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah,
Let's
love-hate relationship.
let's
Love,
hope.
Shrenko and Sveets, and I hated all those defensemen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Drury did a halfway decent job with the trades that he made. Also, I mean, everybody was hating on Drury for a while, and he finally pulled the trigger and made some decent trades for what he could do and what we had. I think the recent stuff that they did was pretty good. Getting Sean Dursey for as a defenseman from Utah. I thought that was
Who
good pickup.
who had you tell me who anybody who knew that they thought they were going to get Dorofeyev. Let me tell you something.
I
The
had no
you
idea.
know the blogs, social media, Ranger fans didn't know what to do with themselves on Friday because they hate Drury. And I was reading some of it. Oh, he's going to fuck this up as usual. He's terrible. Why don't they fire this guy? He's going to do nothing. They'll blow the pick at it. Huh? We got Dorofeyev. Oh,
Yeah,
it better not be the 5th pick overall because what? We got him for a 26th pick and another pick in a couple of years. They did not know what to do with themselves, right? Because they're so invested in the hate Drury, hate Drury, hate Drury. They were losing their minds. Then, okay, so the picks, whatever, they were crying about it wasn't Chase Free, but they don't know what they're talking about. Then we get to the first day of free agency. He's going to do something stupid. He's going to sign, what's his name, Tooch for $10 million. He's going to fuck this up.
Alex
Boom.
Tuck.
I guess the Dorofeyev signing, and then then he's going to fuck this Trocheck trade up. Why are we bringing him back? He screwed this up. You should have traded him at the deadline. Wait, what?
Yeah,
Huh? You got a haul for him? Wait, what? What? It got to the point where one of the bloggers, Blue Shirt Banter, who hates Drury, and I like his site because it's informative, and when it comes to
right.
prospects and some of his writers are good, but he's an idiot. But even he said on his feed, hey guys, you know what? You guys were all invested in Drury fucking this up, right? You all predicted it. He didn't. It was a great night. Take the loss, get over it, give him his credit where credit's due, and move on. Because you just sound like idiots, or Islander fans. just carping about Drury, and he had a great night. So
Right.
yeah, I like what he did. I like
Yeah.
who's the Swede they signed. Just
Cool.
the
Well, you got. We could go through the list. I have a list. William
yeah, that
Trudeau. William
who?
Trudeau. That was the latest. Trudeau
Nah,
from Montreal.
he's just a guy. He's
Yeah.
they
York.
signed and traded for some guys to bump up the Wolfpack because they've been so bad, and they
Right.
want to. I think they've learned that having a good team with veterans around that's successful will be better for the younger guys.
We got
Than uh, having these whatever. So yeah, that's who he is.
Marcus
Um,
Pedersen. Pedersen from Vancouver.
no, that we'll get to him in a second. No, the guy they got
Yep.
from used to play for the Lightning.
Oh,
Swede.
Bjorkstrand.
Bjorkstrand. I like that signing. 1 year,
Yeah.
not a lot of money. 6-time 20-goal scorer, responsible both ends, plays hard. You know what? I like that. I like that signing a lot. A lot.
One year, 4.5 million.
Yes. Villano, we'll see. He's fast, whatever. The
Right.
guy's played 7 years in the NHL. He's been minus every year, by the way. And the least minus he's ever been, Looch, is minus 12. He had 1 year he was like
Okay.
minus 40, you know? But he's a fourth liner,
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
some speed. His job is to get into the forecheck and kill penalties, He's a replacement for Carrick. I'm glad they didn't re-sign Connor Sherry. He left because that would have
Right.
taken a spot for the young guys. I'm very happy that they didn't sign, a bottom six guy or some forward that is going to take up or through a 3 or 4 year contract. So it's going to take up a spot from the younger guys. Like for example, I like Marshman. You know, I think he's a good player. He can score some goals. He's tough. He's an agitator. He's disruptive, but not on this team because he'd just be taking up space from a young guy. That's the guy they should have got 2 years ago. But I don't think he was available because Dallas liked him. I think it's where he was. We could have used him in the Florida series, no, instead of Roslovic. So
Yeah. Yep.
so all right. So let's get to the two trades, right? Let's start with the Trocheck trade.
Right.
I said this a couple weeks on here. I said I don't think the media who's kind of speculating and the blogs that we're going to get this X, Y, and Z for Trocheck because he's a center. He's one of the few center available. He's going to be in demand. They're going to get, and I saying I don't think they're going to get what people think they are. Well, you know what? They kind of got what Drury said he wanted. They got it.
Yeah.
They got a young center who's ready to NHL ready or close to it. They got a bona fide NHLer in Dursey, right?
Yep. Yep. Sean Dursey, defenseman.
Yeah, did they get a first round? No, they didn't get a first round pick, but whatever.
They got a third round pick, 2027 third round pick.
It was a great deal,
Yeah.
And a friend of mine's wife, he was telling me, "Oh, my wife is upset. She hates the Trocheck trade." I said, because she's not thinking globally, right? Yeah, listen, we all love Trocheck. We don't want to lose him, but he's really got no
Right.
value to the Rangers, except, now they might have brought in two really good players for Trocheck, and he was the only guy that was going to be able to do that, So I like the trade. I love Trocheck. I would have been fine if they kept him, So it was a great, it was a good trade. Drury got what he wanted. He held out. The Peterson trade, a friend of mine who hates Drury said, "You think it's good to trade a first-round draft pick for a defenseman?" I was like, well, I'm never that guy. I hate trading first-round picks, and I can't stand this, the belief that you need defensemen who stink, or not that he stinks, but you know what I'm saying. But that's what the price is. Everybody says he's good. He was good for a couple, so if I don't mind it,
Yeah. And that's for 2030, right? What was it, 2030 for a first round pick?
Yeah,
I think that's what that was.
Let's hope not in the lottery. So at that time, here's what I'll say about that trade. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fan of trading a first round pick for a
Right.
second pair defenseman. But that's the going rate. Like, everybody says, these you have to have these guys. Whatever.
Yeah.
But he's always been a good player. He had a tough year, but that was in Vancouver on a bad team. He played for Sully, knows him.
Mm-hmm.
He was the catalyst behind that trade. So there's a
Right.
lot to like about it. On that one, we'll see. We talked about the show check. Let's talk about
Oregon goes.
Dorothea for a real quick second.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Right.
no-brainer. Came out of nowhere, right? Nobody saw that.
Yeah.
But like the people in the media and the blogs were saying, talking about how the Rangers should offer sheet him and it's worth 4 first-round picks. Maybe, but nobody saw this coming, right? Nobody expected it. Everybody thought, everybody knows they have cap problems, but we thought they would, try and clear that up so they could sign him. So what I heard was, I think it was Elliot Friedman or no, Jeff Marek, who's an NHL insider, said there was an offer sheet coming to Dorofeyev, and Vegas got wind of it, and they wanted to trade him, quickly, because they want to control over their own cap. So in other words, if a team signed into an offer sheet, they have to match. Now they got it was before $11 million. They got $11 million now, that they on their cap sheet that they didn't want. You can't trade them for a year, so they'd be stuck. So that's why they unloaded him quickly to the Rangers, and the Rangers got a good deal for him. So I think it's a great trade. I know people are saying, oh, he was playing with Eichel, he was playing with it. Yeah, okay, it's a fair point. I get it, but like the hope is you bring a guy like that in. But I don't think you have to worry about that guy. He can put pucks in the net. Russians usually do well in New York because they, the New York community in Brooklyn. I don't think there's anything wrong with the trade. And you weren't getting, you hope to hit on a 26 pick like that guy. By the way, he was a third rounder. You really hope to hit it. So I have no problem with that. It was what they gave up. I think they got a steal. It immediately, gives them another player, a real good one though this time for the future, right? So now they can build around him and Laffy and Gabe Perreault. By the way, that might be the guy who gets in the puck, Gabe Perreault. He's a great puck distributor. Great trade. So
that's our exchange. That's our exchange.
Everybody.
That's our exchange for Panarin. Getting rid of Panarin, we get Dorofeyev now. A little exchange and a younger. I don't think he's going to be, a Panarin, but
No.
he is a good player. I mean, he's consistently
Different
was
type of
scoring.
player.
Yeah, right. He was scoring 30. He's good for 30 goals in a season. I know that when Dorofeyev got traded to the Rangers, I texted my stepbrother, and he's a big fan of Dorofeyev on the fantasy. On his fantasy team, I said to him, "Hey, listen, the Rangers got Dorofeyev." He says, "You better not freaking touch Dorofeyev. You better not take him off the wire when we do fantasy." So I'm gonna have to bust his chops and maybe try to get Dorofeyev if the Rangers, now that he's on the Rangers. I got to have a couple Ranger players on my fantasy league when the season starts next year. The last 2 years I've been doing fantasy, and it's it's kind of fun. It's a little challenging, because you got to keep up with it every day.
Yeah.
But I never did it for 50 something years I've been on the planet. And how long's fantasy been out? It's got to be 20 or so years, I would think, of 15 or so years.
I don't have
fantasy.
the time patience for
You know what? It is a lot of work. Sometimes I forget about it. Sometimes it gets fun. I have my 2 girls on it. I have some family members that do it. But anyway, it's kind of fun, when you can pay attention to it. But Dorofeyev, I think it's great that we got Dorofeyev. I liked him on Vegas, and hopefully he contributes with the Rangers on a first or second line. I'm sure he's going
Everybody's trying to get goal scorers, right?
Right.
Everybody wants goal scorers, so they got one. The criticism, those who criticize the trade, like my son or others, say it's true. Dorofeyev's
and he's a young kid,
someone else to drive the play, right? That's where he's for Panarin. Panarin was a play driver, right? But you know what? You got to start somewhere. 35 goal scorers don't come available very often.
No.
it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
So, by the way,
Right.
that we can kind of segue into the NHL. We'll talk about offer sheets. You saw the Leo Carlson one, right?
Right. Yeah. 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 He's
I think they
staying.
got a
Right. He's
match.
staying. Oh, I
It,
thought he was staying with Anaheim.
I am. I'm going to go to Anaheim. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
So I think Anaheim's going to match. It's screwed up their cap now, right? Because they weren't expecting to pay him that much, but now they have to pay him 19 million unless they don't match. And I can't see the not matching. I mean, as my son said, that's a lot of money. It takes up your cap, and he's going to be the highest paid player in hockey. And we talked about it. I said, yeah, but you know what? And and then you got to sign, Gauthier, and you got to sign Sedeki next year, and the other. I'm like, you know what? I'll worry about that then. Like, you know, so you went through the pain and 7 years not making the playoffs and rebuild and drafting high to get a guy like Leo Carlson. You got to match, and then you worry about it later. So I think they're going to, but then immediately they signed the defenseman Mishikov. Apparently he was about to get offer sheeted. There's supposedly a lot of offer sheets, have been out there, and so they signed them right away. But that's where Verbeek screwed up. Verbeek is, a very difficult negotiator. He's irascible. He leaves hard feelings. So he put himself in this position. He left himself open, and boom. Then he said, "Will match any offer sheet," trying to scare people off. Well, Philly said, "Okay, here you go." Right now, the flip side to that is, I guarantee you the league office and Bettman are through the roof with anger over at the Flyers because they just reset all these young salaries for all these young guys. They're all it's gonna accelerate salaries a lot quicker. For example, Chicago has been negotiating an extension with Bedard. Bedard is wanted 17 million, where Kiprusoff is. They were trying to get him for 12 million. The thought was they'd meet somewhere in the middle. Well, this came out, and now they want 18, 19 million, right? Same with Fantilli, right? Adam Fantilli in Columbus. Now, what is Backlund Celebrini going to want? Hey, Jackson. So now, everybody's salary, all these young guys are going to get a lot more money now because of that offer sheet, But and
Right.
you know what's going to happen? Every single agent is going to say, well, Carlson's getting paid 19 million. Look at my guy's numbers. It's like, and it's just typical Flyers. They did this back before there was a cap. They, always try to blame the Rangers, but they were the one driving up salaries. There's only been two huge offer sheets in the last 15 years. The last one like this was in 2010. Do you remember who it was? Take a guess. Well, guess what team it was? Not the
I'm not.
Rangers.
Yeah, I'm
Flyers.
not sure. Flyers.
Flyers. When they gave Shane Weber, who's Nashville, like $110 million for 5 years or something, and like 90 million of it was in bonuses because they thought Nashville couldn't match it, wouldn't have the liquidity like Comcast has. So they're the only ones who've done it in the last 15 years. There's going to be a lot of hard feelings around the league, and I'm sure Bettman is livid over this, but that's life in the big leagues,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
And speaking of Nashville, we had Adam Edstrom went to Nashville. I was a little disappointed. I mean, he's
me
a
too.
big type of player. He's a fourth line guy, but and I thought he was. I think he's better than Rempe. I thought he was a better player. He had a good beginning to the season, and then he got hurt, and then he was out for a whole long time there, and I didn't
Well,
think he got a fair shake with the Rangers, but
he got hurt.
you know,
That stunted it. He was playing. He was getting regular time. Then he got hurt, and he got hurt again. I don't
right,
think Sully liked him that much, right? And
yeah,
Schlemmer and Sikora moved ahead of him.
right,
And Rempe might be on his last days of the Rangers. So,
yeah, I agree.
the reason the Rangers traded Berard and Edstrom is they're out of options. They can't send them to Hartford anymore without them going through waivers. And if they go through waivers, they're gonna get taken. So they got what they could. Berard had his opportunity. He didn't do anything with it. you can't have Barad and Sakura anyway. Adam Sakura. So, you know, Sakura and Schlemmer came up and Carte came up last year. They, had good years. They passed Edstrom and Berard, on the chart, the prospect chart. They succeeded. So now they had no choice. So if you keep Edstrom and you try and you can't have all these guys on the roster, right? You got a roster limit. Some of them have to go to Hartford, and they're all out of options. So better to
Right.
trade them now.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think Edstrom didn't get his fair shot. When he got hurt, came back. I don't think Sully liked him for whatever reason. Wasn't his type
Right.
of player. You know, and but
He'll,
that's the big leagues, right?
he'll be one of the guys that bumps the Rangers around when the Rangers played him in Nashville.
He'll go
And
to
then
Vegas. He'll go to Vegas to score 30 goals in the playoffs and win a Stanley
yeah,
Cup.
and
Under his line,
Berard
it'll be Berard.
and Brett Berard. Yeah, right. I liked Berard. I thought he was a little feisty little kid, and I know he was hanging with Rempe a lot over here in the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I saw him. I didn't see him. My
him,
friend did. Yeah.
him and Rempe were hanging out, and
I like Berard too, but
yeah,
he had his chance and he didn't do enough with it.
Right.
He had a bad year in Wolfpack. And Sakura, see, him and Sakura have been in the Rangers system for a couple of years, and they're both kind of similar players. 5'9", right? Feisty, in your face, agitators, hustle, and not a lot of skill, but a little skill. Sakura passed them when he came up last year and did well. Berard did
Right.
nothing last year in his time up, and they did nothing in Hartford. So you're not going to have both of them on your team. And like I said, they're out of options. They can't send any of these guys down. So they traded
Right.
Berard to get something for him because they would lose him anyway. And who they trade him for? Who did they trade him to? Jeff Gorton, Montreal, who drafted him when he was with the Rangers. So
yeah,
I like Berard
Yep.
too, but it was time. The Rangers,
Yep.
they had a Fisher
And then
Cup
we-
bait.
and I think with Jonathan Quick retiring, they ended up getting a backup goalie, Jonas Corpusalo. From
Yeah, that's the one I didn't understand.
Yeah, I
And they
didn't
gave
get
up
that
some.
either.
They should have gotten like draft picks for taking his contract. I don't understand that.
Right. I mean, we got Garin sitting in the wings too. I think he's probably the next one to come up.
Oh, he's going to get a
Hopefully-
chance to win the backup job. The
Dylan
problem
Guerin.
is that he's another one out of options. So
Right.
you could bury Corpusalo if Garan beats him out. You put him on waivers. Somebody grabs him. You got rid of the contract, but I don't think anybody's going to grab him. And you could bury him in the minors in case you need him. But look,
Right.
Duran has been around a long time. He's a highly rated prospect, but he's behind Shesty, and so he's getting his opportunity now, right? And if he doesn't win a job and they keep Corpusalo over him, you're going to hear the whining and moaning that they never gave him a chance. They should have. Well, how are you going to give him a chance? This is his chance, right? What, you're going to play him 20 games, 30 games a year to see what you got in him because you can take Shesty out? No. Look, it's a money position, right? If you want the job, go win it, right? Oh, he didn't get enough time. It was in training camp. Tough. Too bad. Okay, too bad. That's the way the world works. That's the way the league works. You want a job, go win it. I have no sympathy
Yeah.
for him if he doesn't. So
Yep. Yeah, no, it's I like the way the Rangers are set up for next year. I was a little worried about it going into before the draft. I was like, oh, what are they going to do in the draft? I know we were going to get a decent pick. Drury came through with some good picks and good transactions and acquisitions, and I like the way I'm going to watch them this year. Coming up, I'm looking forward to the season. I wasn't looking forward to the season before July 1st, but once we made some of these trades and Drury
good
kind of
point.
what do you want to call it? He kind of made up some ground there with the trades that he made. So
Who's that?
no, I said Drury made up some ground with the trades and the acquisitions that he made. So I think we're in a halfway decent position. If they get into the playoffs, hopefully we see some playoffs and postseason this year. I think they have a chance to do it. I mean, Metropolitan Division's going to be tough, though. You're going to
So
have Carolina. You're going to have Florida Panthers. You got all these. Islanders. The Islanders re-signed. I saw they re-signed Tony D'Angelo for a couple years. They
they
got
let Anders
Schaefer
Lee
over
go.
there. Anders Lee, yeah, he's got traded, right?
So the Rangers will be more, they're more interesting now for sure. They
Yep.
they can compete for a playoff spot. Actually, I conceivably make the playoffs. So to your point, they're more interesting, but they're not as far away. They're closer today than they were a couple of weeks ago. Meaning that you know you looking at this like where are they going to get players from? How are they going to get better? Well, boom, Dorofeyev. Now they got some
Mhm.
assets if somebody comes available. They got Sweets who might be ready. They got some depth in the prospects pool's getting a little deeper. And Perot and Laffy came on last year. Like and another thing too is if you look at the Rangers, I don't have the numbers in front of me. You look at the Rangers' record with and without Fox last year, right? If he wasn't hurt, they might have made the playoffs. They wouldn't have bottomed out like this. You know,
Right.
I think as long as Mika doesn't fall off again, JT Miller bounces back. They now, for the first time in a couple of years, as I can remember, have a defense that can move the puck. Right? They're faster. Um, they they're better off today than they were, and like they they're not that far away now. And I'm not saying they're going to win the
Right.
cup. What I am saying is they've got some pieces, right? You know,
Hmm.
if always if Laffy is going to become the player, we expect him to be, and I'm not talking about a superstar. I'm talking about a point game player, right? Like he looked like last year. And Perot is the real deal. Now you got two pieces in that top six, and then you don't know. Baudouin, Green Tree, Malcolm Spence. They got
Hmm.
Cooley, they got Laba, right? They got
Yeah, yeah.
Schlemmer.
Noah
They got
Lava.
right. They
Lava
got
had a
depth in
good season.
defense. Maybe they trade Schneider, maybe they don't. But they're it's not unrealistic to say that they have a foundation that they could build off of to build a cup win. They got a long way to go, but they got the number one defenseman in Fox, right? Gavrikov, as
Hmm.
long as he's not too old, is another one that's just phenomenal. They got the goalie,
Yeah.
right? If they got
Right.
Laffy and Perot, they got and Dorofeyev, they have the wings that could great offense. Now they just got to get stronger down the middle and and get that guy if they can. That's the challenge,
Right. Yep.
So
No, I like the way they're set up. I mean, I was looking at the lineup. I saw first line Perot, Zibanejad, Dorofeyev. I like that setup. And then you got Bjorkstrand, JT Miller, Lafreniere on the second line. I'm taking this off a daily face off. So they usually set up the lineups and, show what the Rangers lineup could be like, or actually all 32 teams, they have the lineup set up. Will
yeah,
Cooley,
I saw
no,
it in the line charts. I saw it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I think
Laba,
it's halfway decent. Line,
Laba's
third line.
Laba and Cooley, Cooley especially. Cooley's unproven or as a top six forward, second line or first line, but as a third liner, now you got something.
Right,
Like
right.
and if having to play up in the lineup like he's had, he's not that's not his value, right? As a third liner, bring especially him and Laba, you got some size, both 6'4" guys. If Sikora or Carte are, the real deal, meaning that I'm not expecting them to be all stars, but you put them and you have an energy line like that or a shutdown line, holy
Right.
moly, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the
And
fourth
then
line maybe Roarbrook, who's in the minors, or some of those so who knows?
they got the fourth line listed as Kartai, Valeno, and Rempe. We'll
Yeah, I
see
don't
what
see the
Rempe.
Rempe. Where's
Yeah, I
Schlemmer
don't
and
know.
Sikora? Where they have
Oh,
Schlemmer and Sikora?
I don't see Schlema and Sikora actually. Oh, that's right.
What are you looking at? What
He was
site?
This is daily face off. I mean, this could be just a they just kind of throw it together, and it could be like a temporary. When the Rangers pick somebody up. I mean, I was surprised to see Dorofeyev on there. As soon as they got traded, they threw him into the lineup. So um, first on the first power play, they got Lafreniere, Miller, and Dorofeyev, which sounds pretty good. Looks like a pretty good power play. And then the second power play, they got Will Cooley, Lava, and Perot, with
Who?
Durr on the second power play. Cooley, Lava, and Perot.
Lava.
Yeah, on the
Oh, they
second
got
power
JT
play.
Miller
Yeah.
and Mika on the first power play.
Yes.
That
Yeah. They got Lafreniere, Miller, Dorofeyev, Mika, and Adam Fox on the first one.
they're probably right because veteran
Right.
coach or whatever. But it should
Yeah.
be, in my opinion. I'm looking for a line chart that I've seen. Perot should be on the first unit.
Gotcha. Right.
Well, listen,
Okay. Yeah,
he's
they
got
got him on the
to,
second one.
again, he has to, line charts. Mika and Laffy, first line. Perot, Miller, and Borkstrand is the second line. Cooley, Laba, and Radish. Yeah, I've seen that. And then the fourth line, Carte, Milano, and Schlemmer. I can see that.
Oh,
I don't like
yeah.
the Radish. I'd rather have, I'd rather see,
Oh, Taylor Radish. Yeah.
Chicola in that spot, you know,
Right. Right.
because they can't send them down, right? Like so. And then the power play one is Miller, Amika, and Borkstrand. Dorofeyev on the point with Fox. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Second unit is Cooley, Laba, and Perot. Laffy on the point with Gavrikov. Laffy not on the first unit? Give me a break.
Right. Right.
I see
Everybody
the
has
line
it
chart.
different.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, everybody has it different. Depending on who you're looking at.
True.
It's kind of
I've seen line charts with you know, um, Radish on the third line. It's not what I would do, um,
right.
but we'll see. You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find one that I saw. I'll give you my line chart. What I would do: Laffy, Bika, and Perot, because they had great chemistry towards the end of the year. Start that way, and then Dorofeyev, Miller, and I guess Borkstrand would be the other, and then
Mhm.
Laba, Cooley, and Sikora. Then I'd have Villano, Schlemmer, and who am I forgetting?
Moreno, Carti, Rampy,
Kartai, yeah, Kartai, yeah, Kartai.
Gartai. Because Gartai was pretty good. I liked him. That was a good pickup
Yeah,
at the Rangers. Not
we
bad.
hope, right? Like, look,
Yeah.
he came up. They picked him up on waivers, and he scored a bunch of points. So you can't expect that, but brings forth some energy. Looks like a really potential good third, fourth liner, but we don't know. He's not proven.
Right.
He's never done this before. So with the 20 games with the Rangers, that's not enough of a sample size, right? So we don't know if he's really this good or if he just got on a hot streak. Where was he? Why Seattle's not any good? Why'd they get rid of him?
Yeah.
Here's why: because he hasn't proven himself like he did in those games. So we don't know. We hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, Schlemmer and Sikora came up at the end of the year. They played really well, but they're not proven either. We don't know. They might be terrible this year. You don't know. So
Right.
and
That's-
Radish, he's not a bad player. He's not a bad deal. I'm glad Sherry left because he would have taken up ice time or a spot for a a prospect. And don't forget Green Tree, maybe
Yeah.
Baudouin, who they got, Aspinall. Maybe these guys, they're ready. Maybe they're ready, and they come up and and they get there. They're going to get a chance, and then they earn a spot on the team. Who knows?
Hey, we got a Massimo Rizzo too. I saw it at the Rangers traded for to New York. I'm looking at
You got what?
Massimo Rizzo. and a 2026 fifth round pick. I don't know what that trade was or what that acquisition was. I have to look back at that one, but I see that on my list. Um, to New
Oh,
York,
say it again. Is that the guy?
Rizzo, Massimo Rizzo.
And they said they're not going to sign him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who they trade? They traded somebody away.
I'm not sure who it was. I'm not sure who it was for that one.
And yeah, then they
All right,
said they
listen,
have no interest in signing. What's that?
listen. We are at 8 o'clock, and we have our guest. I see he's in the room here. He's in the room. Let's just make sure that he's set up here. Looks like I don't see you on the screen there, Chris. You could just set up on the screen. All right, we'll just give him one more minute to get ready, and we'll get him on. We got a
Oh,
good
that's
guest tonight. He's a big Ranger fan. Uh, he's been at quite a few Ranger games. So we're dropping the puck on a great conversation tonight with a guy. I'm just going to read this off here because with a guy who can light up a room just as easy as a goal light at the Madison Square Garden. Our guest is an accomplished actor, comedian, writer, lifelong New York Ranger fan. You guys might know him from his role as Mott on the hit CBS sitcom Kevin Can Wait alongside Kevin James. From years of headlining comedy clubs, theaters, television appearances across the country. So grab your shirts, lace up your jersey, lace up your skates, and get ready. Great conversation. Please welcome actor, comedian, proud New York Ranger fan, Ryan Roach. Let's get him in here.
hello, Mr. Roach.
Christopher
Hey,
Nice to
Ryan
meet you.
Roach, how you doing?
hey guys, how are you? I hope you can hear me okay. I'm in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Ah, nice.
You're where in Pennsylvania?
Heading to a show.
I'm in the mountains doing a gig. Doing a gig in Hawley, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I was here last week. I bought $700 worth of fireworks, and was paranoid, bringing them over state line, and I had to leave in my car for a while with that heat wave. I'm like, are they going to blow up?
Did they?
Everything was. No, I googled it. Apparently, it has to be 800 degrees for them to ignite without a spark. So,
Gotcha.
and
So
it wasn't
Looch,
mine. They were for my brother.
so Looch told me that you were a comedian, and I said, well, of course he is. He's a Ranger fan, right?
Gotta be.
Like, you gotta be, right? Like,
You gotta
don't
be.
laugh,
You
you'll
gotta.
cry.
Yeah, you have to have a sense of humor to be a Ranger fan.
I apologize to my son every chance I get for making him a Ranger fan.
I know. I became. I grew up in New York, out in the country, and I became a fan because my dad was a city cop, and he used to bring home hockey sticks, and I became a Ranger fan that way. Also because I used to my favorite player was Nick Fotiu, and
Oh,
I was
really?
always watching. Yeah,
From
I
my
was always
neighborhood in
watching
Staten
games.
Island.
Yeah, I just wanted to see who he was going to hit next.
Broke my heart when they let him go to Hartford. Oh.
Yeah, Hartford. I remember he was with Calgary. I think maybe somewhere. Was he with Atlanta, Calgary, something like that? I can't remember.
He was with Calgary Flyers. Yeah, went to the Flyers.
Yeah. And then I remember he was coming after us. I'm like, oh my God, he's trying to beat us up.
Well, I worked when I was a kid in Staten Island. Around 18, 19. I was a chef at this restaurant, and the owners were good friends with Fatio, so he was in there all the time. I actually went to a hockey game with him, but he's from my neighborhood too. He hated Neil Smith. Oh, hated him.
Really?
Yeah, hated. He was rooting against the Rangers. Kind of bummed me out, man. I'm like, what's Dickey doing here? But I was young, I was naive. But yeah, he was pissed off. I think, I don't know what happened. They promised him a job and they lied to him, and whatever.
Oh.
So that's Neil Smith for you. But.
Yeah.
So
Nick Fotiu. How old are you, Brian?
Chris O'Brien. Okay. It's I'm Jesus Christ. How am I? I just turned 58.
Oh, you're my age. I thought you were younger when I first came on the screen. I'm like, well, you grew up a Ranger fan, so I wonder what era. But you grew up a Ranger fan in my era. The Greshner, the Dugays, Andrews Hedberg, Fatigue,
Yeah.
Espo,
Yeah.
the Smurfs.
All of them,
That
yeah.
era. Mike Rogers, right?
Mike Rogers, yeah, I remember that helmet, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Barry
right.
Beck.
Barry Beck before his shoulder went out.
Shoot the
Yeah.
puck, Barry! Shoot the puck!
Yeah.
Bill Chad with the
Actually,
big whistle.
I became like since like 2016. I became pretty close to Ron Duguay. I thought they did him a little raw, but I know what's his name didn't like him. Dolan didn't like him,
Okay.
and Duguay thought it was because he would show up at like events where like the women would be around Dolan, and all of a sudden Duguay would walk in, and they all like start gravitating over to him. But I'm glad to see that his son Quentin, who I met, was really cool dude. I'm glad to see he is taking the team, because I sat in that celebrity section for a few years, and I noticed that James Dolan, not a Ranger fan, not a hockey fan, he sat there for like a period and a half, and then went into the little lounge area to watch the Knicks. So basketball is, the Knicks are his team, and the Rangers I felt like were just like a side note to him. So his son sounds pretty pumped.
That might be a good thing, though. The less he's involved, the better.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like he really cared too much. So I met Duguay back then, and I was actually I've been in talks with him, not him, his daughter Shay, his agent Rob, because we're trying to do a kind of a fundraiser for him. I mean, he wants to donate the money, so I don't think he necessarily needs it. I thought he would, but because he's got stage 4 cancer.
Right.
And I see it's come up in my feed. I think I'm friends with him on Facebook. What kind of cancer does he have?
Do you know what? I think it's colon, but
colon
I never
cancer.
pushed. It's colon, right? I never pushed.
Colon.
You always don't. I talk to the guy. You never want to ask.
Right.
But
yeah.
I remember becoming friends with him, and like that Christmas, he texted me Merry Christmas. I'm like, oh my God, Ron Duguay just texted me Merry Christmas. I remember listening to Ranger Islander games. We didn't have when it was on Sports Channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
Mark
brutal.
Albert on the radio with Sal Red Light Messina. Yep.
That's right. That's why I listened to all my Ranger Islander games, and I was a very stressed out Ranger fan. Like, my dad would see me on the edge of my seat before Ranger Islander games. He's like, "You need to learn how to relax." I'm like, "Get out of here." It was like when the Rangers played the Islanders in a regular season back then. It was like a playoff game. It was like Super Bowl, because it was bragging rights when you went back to school on Long Island.
So, you know what the worst day of my life was? Absolute worst day. The day
Ken
after Kenny. What's that?
I said, Ken Morrow's goal?
Yes. You know why? The next day, all Islander fans were waiting by my locker and in the cafeteria, and just boom, because we're going back and forth for a week or two, and it looked like we had him for a while there, and then when Morrow scored, unrelenting. That's the worst day of my life. Best day of my life was when they won the cup.
Of course, I agree. I have to pick the same two events, the Ken Morrow goal, and my brother thought it would be a good idea. We go visit my grandmother, who lived a mile away from the Coliseum. And when we walked out at my grandmother's house after they lost, I mean, you just heard people screaming in the distance, and houses and bars and the cars honking. I'm like, oh. And I remember, like, there was like, you'd be in your classroom, and on the desk there's like Rangers and Islanders getting into arguments on the desk, like writing back and forth. That Maloney was a high stick. No, screw you. That one goal we had over the. But yeah.
It was just, I mean, they won the cup every year, and and then even the chant 1940. It couldn't be like 1951, right? It's 19, but it had a ring to it. It had to be. It had a year that had a ring to it. It was a great dig, but it just. And then they always win, and they beat us every year, and it just was miserable.
They're going to start chanting. They're going to start chanting 1994 soon. I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Well,
Well, they
when do we
can't.
start chanting? When do we start chanting 1986? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's 83. We that chant I helped
Is
start
it
a chant when
83?
we won the cup
83.
that night. I was in the ring. I helped start a chant 1983. Didn't catch on, but you know, uh,
Yeah. God, we need a
those those were rough days. Oh my
we need a
God.
we need a draft pick that's going to pay off. It's been, I don't know, maybe the curse of Dolan has passed on. The curse of
Maybe it's
James
gone
Dolan.
now that the Knicks won. I've been saying this to Looch and other friends. Just like why don't we just let us get Pavel Datsuk in the seventh round?
Right,
Like
right.
like we haven't had one of those since St. Hank 25 years ago. Come on, like
They're out there.
or
Yeah,
Zubov in the fourth round. Come on, God, give us one of
that's.
those guys.
I
Like
know. That's crazy when that happens.
give us like
Um,
a center. Hopefully it's Nathan Aspinall who had a phenomenal year in junior, surprised everybody. Maybe he's it's not a fluke and he'll be our guy. Not asking for a
hopefully.
lot.
No, I'd like to see this kid Greentree become like a what's his name from the Capitals that we hate, Tom
Wilson.
Wilson.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He could be like a Tom Wilson type guy. That'd be great. But it's just so like I remember Islander fans tell me with the Capo and the Lafreniere draft class, they're like, oh, those are weak classes. They were weak. I'm like, shut up. You don't want to hear that. That they're weak draft classes.
Well, that was our luck, right? We get the first and second pick, 2 years in a row, and
Right.
it wasn't a Macklin Celebrini there or a Matthew Schaefer. What are you going to do?
Oh God, a kid Schaefer.
And listen, there's not a person in hockey who wouldn't have taken Kako with the second overall pick. Everybody,
right.
Everybody was going to take him. There's, no doubt. It was just he just didn't work out.
He
Laffy,
might be
there's
our
still
worst
hope
bust.
for it.
I don't know. Lafreniere, I said if Panarin went, he would step it up, and I saw that happening. He was filling that role a little bit. So I hope that continues.
Yeah, somebody I forget who it was, a national writer or something, said that somebody told them in the radio thought like he was once Bread left, he was more assertive. Laffy, he was kind of like, not he was reluctant to assert himself on the ice, whatever. And they just seemed to like, not that Laffy, not that Bread did anything bad to him. He just deferred to him too much. So
yeah.
I felt like Lafreniere was a little soft for a while, and then all of a sudden he stepped up his game. He started bumping a little bit here and there, and I definitely think he came along. Hopefully, we'll see Lafreniere step it up again next year. And
I hope so. I hope so.
He was the best player in the
flashes.
Florida series.
Yeah, he absolutely was. And you get guys like these. Like Schaefer from the Islanders, he's just like a phenom. He comes out and he's league ready, Where
the Islanders
even
fucked that up though.
I know, but look at Jack Hughes. Took him a few years to start clicking.
He's hurt all the time too, though.
I'm a huge Ranger fan, and I'm a big fan of Jack Hughes. I mean, when
you have to be now, right?
we saw him with the USA, with the USA game, and he, the money that he gave to the Gaudreau Foundation. When we had the Gaudreaus on, he gave them $100,000 towards their foundation. It was unbelievable. Yeah, he won it on the Pat McAfee show, and then he handed it over to the Gaudreau Foundation, which was a great thing.
Phenomenal. That's incredible.
Yeah, he's just a great kid. It seems like.
Yeah.
He's been hanging around the Jersey Shore a lot too, which is pretty
really
neat. Yeah, he's been down here at the Jersey Shore. Down
that's where you guys are at? You guys Jersey?
Yes, we are. Yep.
I just booked a show just today in Long Beach Island.
Oh, LBI, nice.
Where?
Long Beach Island. It's the Surflight Theater.
Oh,
okay.
I will be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there. I hang out in LBI all the time. I got my daughter's.
All right.
My daughter's boyfriend is in a band, and they play down in LBI all the time. We're about 40 minutes from there.
Yeah, I'm like 2 hours, especially when you try to go over that bridge.
Good. I'm looking to go. I'm looking to go out afterwards because I got a room. So
Nice.
What do you have a stand up? You doing a stand up?
Yeah, this really cool theater. The crowds are always great right there, and it's a lot of good places to eat. I like that. I like the LBI a lot. It almost reminds me a little bit if you ever been to the Outer Banks, OBX. It reminds me of that.
I
And
agree.
one of my favorite Jersey clubs. It was open for like 50 years, and it closed down about 10 years ago. It was in Wildwood. It
Tramp?
was
No,
called the Cas.
not Tramps in West Orange.
No,
Was it
no,
Tramps? Yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Yeah. What place was it? In
Casbah.
what town?
Casbah Comedy Club in Wildwood, New Jersey. It was on
Ooh,
Atlantic and Chubby Checker.
Okay.
It
really?
was great, man. Those are great shows. Hanging out on the boardwalk afterwards, and I did another show. What's that board? Jenks? Is there a Jenks like over there?
Jenkinson's, yes.
Show Jenkins? Yeah, I
Yes.
did a show there too.
Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club?
Never did that one, but I did the
Okay.
Borgata a lot. The Borgata was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Nice
Trying to
hotel,
spend all
nice
your money.
restaurants there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to let me know when you're down in LBI. We'll have to find out that
I
date, and I'll have to
will.
get tickets for that show.
Now, I think Dancing Larry's a Jersey kid too, isn't he?
I think he's North. I think he's North Jersey.
Which kid?
Dancing
Who?
Larry.
Jersey.
Who?
Dancing Larry.
Is he a
The
Jersey
guy.
guy?
I think he is. I think he's up North Jersey.
You
I'm
think
not
you're
sure.
right? I think you're right.
He-
He's always in the city.
Yeah. He does frequent. I think he comes down the shore every once in a while.
Guy's
just
been
had
dancing
Ron-
for 30
we-
years and still got the groove, man.
You were talking about Ron Duguay. We just had Ron Duguay in Jersey not that long ago.
Yeah, he was
Came
signing
for a
autographs, right?
Yep, at the Woodbridge Brewing Company. A friend of
Right.
mine that I know, Kelly Dolan.
Yeah.
She signed him up and got him in over there at Woodbridge, and then he did a private party for an 80th birthday party. I think it was down in Bayville or something down in Jersey. So,
Yeah.
and then he just came back again for another signing, which was pretty good. I guess he's doing okay. Hopefully, we
Yeah.
give our
Yeah.
prayers to Ron.
He was
Now
one
it's
of my
stage
favorite
4
Rangers
cancer.
when I was younger.
Oh yeah, it's great. But look at him. He's like stage 4 cancer. He's like cycling and running marathons. I'm like, and I'm here eating McDonald's.
Twizzlers.
And he's a damn good looking guy. I don't go that way, but
I
he's
know.
he's
told
got to
me,
be the
So, on that
Yeah.
note, I was Mike Keene or a couple of hockey players were telling a story about they were fantasy camp they were in 10 years ago, and they get up to tell stories, and I'm trying to think of the other one. Oh, Duguay gets up and says, "Look, I was dating Cher and Cheryl Teagues at the same time. Top that." He just walked out of the room.
I know. Can you imagine?
Oh,
Can you imagine?
that guy had it all. Madonna, everybody.
Oh, and then he told me when he was dating, he goes, "Oh, it's about to come out. Probably you'll hear about it, but I'm dating Sarah Palin now."
Yeah. Him
But,
and Palin have been together for a while.
Yeah.
Who's he with?
She was like, she was taking care of him. I don't think they live together, but they're,
Oh, Sarah
I think he's
Palin.
Yeah.
She's a good-looking
She's
woman.
really nice. Beautiful woman. Yeah.
I don't want her as my vice president, but I'd have her as my girlfriend.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. I didn't even know she
But
was single
I
until you
can't
told me.
compete with Ron Duguay. So,
No. We could all hope we look so good. I texted him one time, like, "You give me your moisturizing routine. What should I buy?" He actually started sending me links. You need this. You need that. You need that.
Oh man.
Yeah, you ask him, how'd
Thanks,
you get
Ron.
so good looking, Ron? Like, what's your secret?
Right? Oh my God.
Even when he was playing with the Rangers with the flowing hair and
Oh my God.
Yeah.
no helmet on and just flowing around the ice like.
Dating the models, dating actresses.
Well, back in the day, it was the Ooh La La Sassoon commercials.
Oh
The,
wait.
the Maloney brothers.
He comes on.
Maloney, Don Murdoch, Don
Yeah.
Murdoch, Ron Greshner.
I got to.
Those were the days.
I was having lunch with him one time. We were on set when I was on Kevin Kuwait with Kevin James, and we went to craft services, and me and a buddy of mine that's a big Ranger fan. And I said, Ron, now that we're friends, I have to ask you. I said, this is coming from the 10-year-old Chris Roach. I said, about that Sassoon commercial. Why? Why?
Yeah.
He was laughing. I'm like, you know what it was like to go to school the next day, Ron? Why? he was,
Money.
he didn't care.
The-
Money, exactly, yeah. He wasn't caring about humiliating the young Ranger fans on Long Island.
Especially, they didn't make a lot of money back then, and certainly an endorsement, getting an endorsement like that as a hockey player was rare.
It was
him.
it's
Sorry, go ahead.
it's sad to see that. No, it's sad to see, like, living on Long Island. I remember, like, Gillies and Bossy. They all had, like, jobs in real estate afterwards. I'm like, why are they working? But you think you think they were loaded. People would ask me too. They were like, they'd see me like somewhere like, what are you doing here, working here? Don't you get residual checks? I'm like, yeah, not as much as you think.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at Studio 54 when back in the day too, with those guys, with that whole Rangers team.
I'm trying to think. I gave him and what's his name a ride to their hotel once. A defenseman from the Rangers and also
Reshner?
No, not a popular one. He's from the Rangers.
Tom
He's friends with
Laidlaw?
Duguay, and also from Hartford. What was his name?
Mario Mawa?
No,
Chris
like not even that
Kostopoulos?
popular. Chris Kostopoulos. I remember he had a goal. Like I remember Chris Kostopoulos had this goal where he just lobbed it in the air, like high in the air from center ice, and it bounced behind the goalie. So Chris Kostopoulos told me that they would be at Studio 54, and a woman walk up, and Duguay would really he would take his hand, put it on the chin, and he would turn him to the left, and he would turn him to the right, and then he would go, now. Can you imagine? I'm like, oh my God. I wish I had it like that for a night.
Yeah.
God would never make me that good looking because I'd be so irresponsible. I couldn't handle it.
Me too. I would have venereal diseases and stuff. Forget it.
I would have been dead of like a heart attack, AIDS, whatever,
Right.
by the time I was 25. It's just, I couldn't handle it.
Karma.
No.
But then again, you know what? You know that old joke, right? Like, a couple guys are in a bar and they see this really hot chick over, oh my God, she's so hot. I'd love to get with her. And so the other guy says, yeah, you know what? There's somebody out there right now who's tired of fucking her. You know that, right?
Yeah. I was so another person in this group that we're putting the fundraiser together, hopefully in the fall, her name is Jeannie. She's the owner of the Comic Strip Comedy Club on 2nd Avenue in New York City. And I was telling her a story, like when I first started to get to know Ron, I went to go see one of those, the celebrity games. What do you call it? Look, this happens at my age. I'm trying to grab words now. When the old guys come back and play, like a fundraiser kind of game. Jesus
Old timer
Christ.
or celebrity,
Yeah, like an old timer. Yeah, like the old timers game with the veterans and former players. And somebody from MSG comes out and goes, "Oh, Ron asked you. He's in the dressing room." And I had met him like 2 or 3 times already, and he's sitting there, and I bring my friend John in, and we're talking to him, and he's getting undressed, and then he's just completely naked, like nothing. I'm like, and I go, me, I can't keep anything in. I'm like, oh, it's Ron Duguay's penis. And I was telling that story to Jeannie. Used to work with Marv Albert, and she goes, oh my God, I was 16 years old. I went into the Rangers locker room, and Ron Duguay was the first penis I ever saw. She goes, I was traumatized. So I'm like, oh, we got that in common. We both saw Duguay's penis. And, yeah.
I'm sure it looked worn out.
No, oh, God. God, I think he had like notch marks on it or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And he gave me his hockey socks. And I have them in my drawer like a little girl. I'm like, oh, thanks. He's naked and he hands me his hockey socks. I'm like, thank you, Ron Duguay. I'll never wash these socks ever.
And now you're friends with him.
Now I'm friends with him. Yeah, he's just a good dude. He's just, really kind guy. And I felt bad when they didn't re-sign him at MSG. You know, fans
No,
loved
you
him.
mean the alumni job he had?
Yeah, between the periods, was it between periods or after the game? Excuse
Right.
me.
Yeah, a lot of the hockey guys are great guys. I mean, geez,
Yeah.
Different breed.
How long you guys
oh
been
yeah.
doing this podcast?
I'm doing it about 3 years. Jeff joined me this past year, and we're about to bump it up a notch after this season's over. This is going to be our last show for a little while. We'll probably do a month to month, and then until the Rangers until the hockey season
Yeah.
starts up again.
Yeah,
We
I
I'm
had
got
a
still a
hockey.
rookie. I'm in my first year. I'm still a rookie.
That's all right. I had a podcast 3 years called Comedians in Hockey. I had a good time. I really liked it. It's like like a niche podcast, but I loved it. But it's like impossible to get current players. At least I had that problem. I had like Gresh, Laidlaw,
Yep.
Aaron Asham. I got their numbers too if you want to. I have his number. Avery. Avery I became friendly with. Sean Avery wanted me to teach him stand-up comedy. So he asked me. I had him as a guest. You ever have him as a guest?
Haven't yet, no. But Avery's funny. He just the way he laughs is great. I
He's
love him.
funny.
He's like kind of cynical, like
Yes.
like the way he talks and like
He
the way he
doesn't.
laughs. He don't
He doesn't
care.
hold punches. So
No.
I meet him in the city once. Cool, hang out with him a little bit, and then he goes, "Can you get me, my wife and I, tickets to Gotham Comedy Club on West 23rd? It's a pretty big club." And I got them tickets. He no-showed. And then like a month later, "Hey, I'm sorry. Can you get my wife and I tickets to the comedy club tonight?" I wasn't there that night, so I called the owner. And the next day, the owner called me. "Yeah, Avery never showed up." I'm like, he's starting to agitate me now. The agitator's starting to agitate me.
Yeah,
Probably
right.
doing
right.
that on purpose.
Yeah,
Doing it on
probably.
purpose to big time people.
I was like,
I wa-
I auditioned for this one part on this TV show. You're not supposed to post it online. It's like, sometimes they make you sign NDAs, but this one audition, I submitted it through Vimeo, but I forgot to hit not public. And I guess Avery was going for the same part, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey, idiot, your audition is public online." I'm like, "Thanks, man." I got it off right away. But he's really cool. Like, my nephew's writing a book. He's interviewing all these athletes about their kind of like pre-games. It's like what you do to get ready. And he was nice enough to do an interview with my nephew. Really cool.
Yeah.
And
Avery tells a story. Sean Avery told a story on Tim Peel and Jeremy Roenick used to have a podcast that I'd watch, and Avery was on there. He told a story about when he lived with Brett Hull, and and he
The
had
brownies?
he had the brownies in the refrigerator, and Brett Hull ate all the brownies and
Oh
didn't
my
realize that they were laced with something. And
He ate like 4 of them.
yeah, and Hull thought he was dying. He was on the floor crying, and it was the
yeah.
funniest freaking story I heard. I'm like,
Oh.
and we were all, I was laughing, and Jeremy Roenick, he had Jeremy Roenick and Tim Peel cracking up. Was a great story. I'd love to get him on to tell that story again.
Oh, that's
I'd
great.
love to get Brett Hull on. Brett Hull has some great, so
Yeah.
many good
Wow. Brett Hull seems like he'd be fun to hang out with.
Oh yeah, without a
the
doubt.
stories about him. I was just watching something recently, or reading something, telling the stories about, he's just hilarious.
So do you still talk to Kevin James a little bit, or what? He seems like a great guy.
Yeah, very, very, very cool guy. Not the biggest hockey fan, I remember, because one time I saw him at an Islander game. Like, dude, I thought you didn't like hockey, and I invited him to Ranger games. He's like, "Nah, I don't really into hockey." He's big. He's all Mets and some Jets. So no, I haven't. He's kind of. I was touring with him for a couple of years, and he's not doing anything right now. I think he's filming something. So I'm hoping like one day to get a call and go back on tour with him. So
Yeah, no, that was a great show too. I love that sitcom. Kevin
Oh,
Can
man.
Wait. I enjoyed watching that. Me and my wife would watch it religiously. What you guys have two seasons, I think, of
Yeah, 2 seasons, 48
Yeah.
episodes. It was phenomenal.
Nice.
So cool.
So I got to ask you. This is
Sure.
like just a crazy question that I got here for. So if Kevin James challenged you to a shootout, who's going to win?
A hockey shootout?
Yeah.
Oh,
You-
he's gonna lose. I'll beat him there.
yeah.
But anything else, like the guy's a black belt and he's into MMA and he's big, but he's an athlete. But
Right.
he doesn't play. He doesn't play. I don't know if he's ever touched a hockey stick.
Right, so are you friends with Sandler?
An acquaintance.
Okay.
His wife Jackie played my wife on the TV show.
I thought that was her. I did see that. I thought that
Yeah.
was her.
So Jackie and I became good friends, and I've talked to Adam a couple of times, but I don't. It's not like I have his phone number, but
Yeah,
you
he's a
know,
busy guy. I know
he
that.
was really nice. He was
Oh,
really kind to me when I met him.
Gotcha.
over and over again, you hear that about him. Just what a nice guy he is.
He is, yeah. I mean, he went to again the comic strip. He likes one of his favorite clubs in the city is the comic strip, Genie's Club, and he performed there one time. And the next day, he calls up and he gives the owner his credit card. He goes, "I want everybody that worked last night, give them $500."
Oh, nice.
Is that crazy?
Wow.
He has all his
he
friends'
just-
cars, new cars. Yeah.
He takes care of everybody around him. When I met him, there was a guy standing behind him, like 5 feet, and I realized it was a security guy. I'm like, why does this guy look so familiar? His security guy / driver. He's in every movie.
Yeah.
Every movie there's a guy that's got like a googly eyes and he talks like this. That's his freaking security guy. He puts in every movie.
Once you're in a movie like Dan Patrick, there's sportscasters in every one of his movies now. All his friends.
Yeah, you see a lot of the same guys in the movies. You see a lot of the same guys.
They're all his
which is
friends.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for a call.
So what are you doing up in the mountains up there, Chris?
There's a resort up here I'm performing at. I go on about they do like at 8:30 they do like this Broadway review, and then I go up after. Like when I go up, like this is a good payday. So when there's kids in the audience. So when I go up, half the audience gets up and they're walking out as I'm going on, which I'm kind of relieved because I'm like, yeah, get all the kids out of here. And but even still, I got to be careful with the language. Like when I work with Kevin, I got to be clean. When with these kids, I got to be squeaky clean because the parents and the kids. But I like to go like, Friday I'm working at a theater in Long Island. I'll get to let my hair down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sick. A couple of fucks.
I hear you.
A couple of fucks, man. I can't go. Hey, kids, how do you like this fucking place? I'll never be asked again. There's stories like that all over.
What are you up in the Poconos?
Yeah, what's this, Hawley? I think it's not too far from the Poconos. It's right, yeah, Hawley, Hawley. And I performed at the Poconos. It's really sad. When they gave me a room and I'm alone in a room with a heart-shaped tub.
Oh, no way.
Uh-oh.
Is it Mount Airy Lodge?
Yes.
Mount Airy Lodge.
Like, if there's ever a moment I was going to open my wrist, it would probably be this moment right here. Alone.
You don't want to die
in a
in a room in the Poconos with a heart-shaped tub.
In the heart-shaped bed.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That'd be boring. I mean, that would be depressing.
So and it's the only
start. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, it was the only gig I ever did where I got an email from the booker telling me that hooking up with the customers is frowned upon. I guess there's some swingers there. So don't hook up with customers after. Yeah.
A comedian's been begin. What's the point of being a comedian?
Right? Don't they know it's the alcohol and the sex? Come on! Don't they watch movies?
He didn't get the memo.
I know.
Wait a minute. So if they're swingers, what's the problem?
Exactly. I guess they're not all swingers, but I never got that in a memo before. Don't hook up with any customers, pretty much.
I don't know what this world is coming to. You can't sleep with customers when you're in a comic.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
It is. this country's going to hell. You know, it's all up, the political correctness. So
Yeah, I can't take it. Oh, yeah.
I have one rule. The only way you can offend me if it's not funny, right? As long as it's
Right,
funny, like I don't, you can say whatever you want to me, but
right. I think there was a comedian once said, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're.
mm,
Oh, we lost him. Yeah, we'll wait for him to get back on, and then we could
I
end
got to
it
eat
with,
something. I'm starving.
yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up and let him go. He's waiting to go on to his show. Let me see if we can get him back here.
Entertaining guest. He was good.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to see when he's down there. We'll wait for him to come back on. Hopefully, he gets reconnected and we can say goodbye to him. But
You should have. Don't I look like I'm on fire? Don't I?
yeah. I don't know what's going on. We got a lot of feedback going on, and
Turn the light on.
we'll see if maybe that's the problem. But we'll wrap it up in a couple minutes. Hopefully, we get Chris back on and we could find out where he's at. I'm definitely gonna go see him down in LBI. There we go. We got you back again. You there? Hello. Can you
Sorry
hear
about
us,
that, guy.
Rich? You're
Yeah,
good.
somebody was calling me, and I guess I got bumped when somebody was calling me.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that swinger couple kidnapped you.
Yeah, the swingers from because we're really close to the Poconos. I know that. Am I in the Poconos? I'm not sure, but I know I'm really close.
If you're in Mount Airy Lodge, you're in the Poconos, no?
Yeah.
Not tonight. I'm not. Not tonight. I'm
say
not.
so.
To Mount Airy Lodge. Remember
Yeah.
that jingle and the.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what time's your show tonight?
I go on 9:30, so I'm gonna head over there in a few
Okay.
minutes just so they see my face.
All right.
See my
Yeah,
face,
yeah,
Daddy's
we'll-
over here anyway, so.
Yeah, we'll let you rock and roll. We
Have you on
appreciate
again,
you
Chris.
coming on.
Yeah, let's do it again in
Yeah.
the regular season.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have you on here, and we'll definitely
We'll
get
do a
you
segment
get
talking
you in here.
Rangers history, right?
We appreciate you
We'll talk
coming
about
on.
all the sorrows,
We'll have to check you out down in LBI too when you come
Yeah,
up
come
to
hang
Jersey.
out,
when
man.
you come
Definitely
down,
come hang out.
you
Yeah.
come down to Jersey. We got
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll text you the date. I think it's in. I'm sorry. I think it's in August.
You do have my cell phone. I sent it to you, and it's on the email.
Yeah.
And,
I'll
through
text you the
Messenger.
date.
Awesome.
Surf Life
Appreciate
Theater.
you coming
Chris,
on. If
It was nice
is there
meeting
anything
you. Thanks for coming on.
any-
Love to do it again with you, bud. Thanks.
anything else you want to plug before you go?
The customer and the swingers, he's going to go plug them later.
I'm sensitive to the word plug because of my hair procedure, but other than that, you know what else going on? No, just can't wait for the Rangers to start next season. I'll be in LBI. I think it's like the 23rd. It's a Friday, maybe.
All right.
I'll look it up. I'll send you the date.
Sounds good.
But yeah, Instagram at Roach Comic. That's where I
All
put a
right.
lot of my stuff. Or Facebook.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right, Chris. Appreciate
All right,
it.
boys.
You have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy.
Thank you. All right. Have a good one.
Well, that's it for a while, Looch, huh?
Yeah, no, that was great. Ended it on a good note. Christopher Brian Roach from Kevin Can Wait. I know he's done a couple movies too. Good friends with Kevin James, and maybe we'll get some phone numbers from him. Some of these other comics and some of these other guys that he knows. We'll definitely have him on again. I mean, what a great guy!
He
Jeez.
was.
Yeah, he's definitely a down to earth guy, and seems like a cool guy to have. I had a couple jokes lined up. Real quick, I just want to say, we'll go with one of the jokes. I should have said it while he was on, but what do the Devils and the Titanic have in common? They both look good until they hit ice.
Bada boom.
And I was going to ask him what's more intimidating, 100 miles per hour slap shot or a silent comedy show? A silent comedy club.
All right, I got to go eat, brother.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. We will talk, and we will do, if you want, we'll stick to a monthly show. we could just do updates on what's going on in NHL or high school and college. But we are definitely going to keep in touch, and we'll keep rocking and rolling with this thing. And next year, when the season starts in September, October, we'll bump this up a notch. We got a lot of guests. I got Matthew Schneider waiting in the wings. We'll get some of these young kids, hopefully,
Maybe
that
we'll
are
finally
coming up.
the toe we've been talking about, right?
We'll try to get Blake on. We won't reveal his last name, and the Gaudreaus, obviously we'll get them on once that the Gaudreau 5K comes around again. But all right, I'll let you rock and roll. Thanks everybody for checking us out. We are out of here for a
Thanks,
while.
everybody. Let it
We'll
come back
keep
next year when we're here. All right,
We
brother.
will keep you guys updated on 111 hockey, right? You got 111 hockey.
On
Jeff
Facebook,
Chicola.
111 Hockey. Come check us out. Yep.
And be looking for us in the next month or so. We're going to be putting some new stuff out. Thanks,
All right.
guys. Appreciate it. Have
Thanks,
a good
everybody.
night.
Looch, I'll call you tomorrow. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Take care.